Hi and welcome back after quite a bit of a break. I think I'll have another vlog as to why I've been on somewhat of a break from making my YouTube videos. But I just want to walk through some changes in my tech that I'm running at home. So first off, I've ordered this Dominator Platinum 32 GB kit of DDR4. This is running at the 3000 megahertz speed. This is just a product page on the Corsair site, so you have an idea what it looks like. So basically, this RAM is going to go inside my gaming rig, and so that leaves me with 32 gigs of the existing RAM, which is this Crucial Ballistics RAM. So I'm going to move that out into the new box. So the new box, the idea behind it is that it's going to be a multi-purpose system, which at the moment I am calling a server inside air quotes. So just imagine I'm doing air quotes on screen with the word server. And why I'm doing that is because I'm running non ECC RAM, and of course the motherboard isn't server grade. I'm not running Xeon CPUs. I don't have redundant power supplies, redundant storage, so it's not a server by any enterprise grade idea of a server. But for hacking and running Linux and doing server-like tasks at home, or in my case an office as well, since my office is in my home, it gets called a server in this case. But at the same time, I want it to be a potential backup in case something happens to the gaming rig, which is actually no longer that much of a gaming rig, in the sense that it's actually a gaming slash productivity rig. I've been doing things like Android development on it, watching stuff in VLC, and I've been doing gaming and even processing these clips in Adobe Premiere and stuff. So I'm making decent use of the 6850K on the gaming rig. So just to give you a quick overview, yeah, this is the Predator X34 in all its glory. Wow, yeah, you can see how much movement I would do there to show you. So let's just quickly run through all the specs for the new system. First of all, it's going to be a Skylake build, and so that means it's got a Z170 chipset compared to the machine you're looking at, which has the X99 chipset. So RAM I already have. I have 2 sticks in the cupboard and 2 sticks are running on this machine. I had to pull 2 sticks out, but there were some stability issues. Yeah, so this machine is going to have the excellent 6700K 4 GHz quad-core processor, highly overclockable, as long as the RAM is good. So I need to see how far I get with the ballistics. If I find these ballistic sticks are pants, then I'll dump them on eBay and replace these out with another Dominator kit and see how I fare with that. So, and the motherboard for this box is going to be the Republic of Gamers Formula blah 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 LJ1151. Downside to the motherboard, it doesn't have a Thunderbolt header, but I'm not using Thunderbolt on the PCs, even though my Mac has it. I'm not too fussed. If I need Thunderbolt, I can add a PCIe card, and I don't really have any need for Thunderbolt right now. This is going to be, at the moment, I'm going to run it with a single SSD of 256. Now, since it's a server box, I plan to have, the approach I'm going to take is 1 OS per SSD. So I'm going to maybe have 2 256s, so I can do a disk, what I call Linux DD utility. So it's basically a block-based backup to the second SSD. That'll be like a bash script that does a block by block copy of everything on the first SSD, the second SSD. So if the first SSD gives trouble, I can just yank it out, put the second one in, and it should theoretically boot up as it was an identical copy of the first one. And then I would have a third SSD at some point if I plan to run Windows 10 on this. But this box is going to be Linux all the way through, although I'll run Windows 10 just for overclocking and stability testing purposes, because all those tools are really matured in the Windows 10 space. Now I'm going for the Hydro for the Hydro 115, which is a 280mm rad setup. Now the reasoning here is that I wanted to actually move this over onto 6850 and see if that improves the temps. And the same story here. I'm hoping to get a better grade of PSU. This is an 860 watt, but being AX, it's basically the top end range of Corsair's PSUs, and swapped it out with the HX 1000 watt. It's on this machine. So this order is what you're seeing is really the order, but less of the build. And the reasoning there is that I'm going to try and swap some components over to the existing box if I feel that they'll help with my daily use. And so this is the same build. I'm calling the SOHO server. It's the same stuff listed here on PC part picker, and yeah. So the reason I've got the A separator there is because both these boxes will be connected to the same monitor, with the server connecting over HDMI, and of course the gaming rig over DisplayPort. I'm not sure if I just will keep it on the HDMI all the time, because the idea is that this server will 99% run in a headless mode, which means that I'll be basically connecting via SSH, and I really wouldn't have any need to bring it up on screen unless I need to say access the BIOS or do something like that, which is something I probably would end up doing if I'm switching SSDs around pretty frequently and that sort of thing. But I'm not so sure so much in terms of my workflow with regards to the SSDs and stuff. Oh yeah, and you'll also notice that this motherboard has an M.2 slot, very similar to the Sabertooth X99. It has that same kind of like ROG armor, which is similar so it's like the X99. So basically this bit here, let me open up full screenshot. Basically this plate here, you just remove the screw and this whole plate comes off, and you expose the M.2 slot, which I can zoom in here so you can see the screws. There you go, and that's the M.2 slot right there, with a little screw. So you basically slip in the M.2 and then you got a ultra fast SSD. So initially I want to leave the room for M.2 because that's where SSDs are going to move, and if this machine ever has to switch back into being my main non-Mac system, I'd like to switch the M.2 across as well. So there are some aspects where this is over the top, but it's over the top in the sense it's there to give me flexibility to one, act as a server of sorts at home, where I can run Docker and all my stuff, and in the event something goes wrong with the box that I'm using all the time, and actually I think I'm using this machine as much as the Mac, equally as much in the same day, probably if not more so now, given the screen size and all that. Yeah, so I'm pretty dependent on this now. I have certain things on this system all the time. I have a common share on the NAS, so I can move stuff through a common folder when I want to. move stuff from the Mac to the Windows machine and vice versa. So that's pretty smooth as well. It automatically mounts as well. And just to quickly give you a quick run through of the existing setup, it's not going to be as nice, but here you go. So the existing setup is 6850K. Yeah, the smaller Corsair cooler AIO, the Sabertooth motherboard. I'm running only 16 gig at the moment because the second pair that arrived seemed to cause some issues. Since pulling that out, I've not had any issues, so there's probably something there. I'm running an 850 Pro and a 950 Pro. So the M.2 is the boot drive. The Zotac 1080, which clocks quite nicely actually. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, I'm just trying to handhold this, and I'm zoomed in quite a bit. So let me move this window over there. So I'm going to pan, and there you go. You can just see how right now it's pretty idle. It's not doing much. Yeah, the GPU do nothing. But when I'm playing the game, my existing Zotac will hit 2000 megahertz, and that's a pretty decent overclock for being on air. 1000 watts, the Corsair ER540, and the monitor, keyboard, mouse, and here's a quick look at my messy desk. So this is the Corsair K70. I didn't go for the RGB one. I just went for the basic. That's just bumping the brightness up, and then you can just put it into that mode if you're gaming or something. And next to it is the Master Keys by Cooler Master, which is actually an excellent keyboard. I preferred this keyboard. These are both Cherry MX Brown switches. I find the Cherry MX Brown on the Cooler Master to actually be far better for programming and typing, whereas the Cherry MX Brown on the K70 are better for gaming. Strange. I'm glad that I didn't go with any of the Cherry MX red switches, because again, these are all things that I'm buying blind. I don't have a chance to go into a store and try them out, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm definitely happier with the Cooler Master. What's it called? Let's try and get it on screen. I think it's called the Master Keys. Master Keys. Let's see what comes up. Bear with me. I think some stuff's downloading and it's taking a while. Here we go. So it's not the Pro large. It's the what they call 10 keyless whatever keyboard. So it's this one. So it was, I think, $119. Yeah, I probably paid something like that. Prices shift quite a bit on B&H. So it's this one with the Cherry MX Brown. Highly recommended if anyone's looking for a good keyboard. The reason I went for the K70 in red, I think, was again due to the price. I didn't feel like there was any reason I should justify the kind of money they were asking for a keyboard. You know, okay, fine. I really appreciate the shift to Cherry MX switches. Having used the Apple chiclets for a long time. But you can see, let's see, so the RGBs are around $160. These are the two RGBs. And if you look at the red, backlit, rapid fire, that's about $109. So yeah, saying about $65. Yeah, I didn't want to waste that as such. So I think I ended up going for this one, which is the rapid fire. And a bit of a cost cutting measure there. So it's taking a while. So Cherry MX P switches. This is the red LED lit, and as I recall, these were the brown switches. I can't remember the exact same one, but yeah, this is one of the ones. All the all the features are there. The only difference is that you're not getting full RGB. So I digress a bit with the keyboards and stuff, but there you have it. So that's so the new system that's on the way is going to be this one with the 700K and Z170 Skylake. So that should be interesting. Anyone who's paid attention would also note there's no graphics card, and that's because the Skylake chips have onboard Intel graphics. And there are people who even play Crysis in 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is something I did not know about. So seriously, CPU based graphics performance has come a long way, because I've always had a discrete GPU on my systems. I've never really looked at what these CPU based solutions have been, how they've advanced, at least in the past couple of years. So I'm just going to leave you with that, and hopefully I'll find some time to resume my vlog. I've just been tied up with work and some other stuff, again mostly related with work, and I just need to make a bit more effort to post some new content. So until then, let me know what you think, especially about this new build. I forgot to mention the case is this Corsair Air 740. So that should be interesting because it's the newer version of the 540, and this is in the full tower config essentially. So that should be interesting. I've checked a couple of reviews and they seem quite good, and the case is going to look something like that. So it's a bladed affair, and it's got the same split setup, and I've spent hours on YouTube going through various case reviews, one after the other, and I just can't seem to find any other case that seems to offer the same features and stuff as the Corsair do. And I actually had ordered this case is $150. I had actually ordered the $70 NZXT Z340, I think. But then I realized that that's going to come with some really pants CPU fans, and by the time you order some good CPU fans, you're looking at $20 a fan. So I just might as well go for the Corsair and end up having two Corsair cases. So see how that pans out. Anyways, give me a like. If you don't like the video, you know what to do. But if you do like the video and have any thoughts to share, maybe something random, I don't know, just share it in the comments, and I will post something new in the coming days. Until then, bye bye.